Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome to Monday, which only means one thing. Welcome to update day. So today has been one of the big promises coming from the road ahead roadmap. We have the overhaul and slight removal to dailyscape. So dailyscape kind of leads to things which were sort of rewards, mini games, stuff like that, which were given too much of a reward, where it kind of made the gameplay a little bit grindy because you had to go and get these things every single day. There's been a lot of amendments and a lot of patch notes, so prepare for a big jump in as we go and look at this update, which I think will be very beneficial to the game. It just means it allows the game to flow a bit better, just to go and just do what you basically want to do every single day. Not only that as well, we now have free rune metrics for members as well, which is a massive update. Rune metrics, if you haven't used it before, is a really good way to track your data in terms of your XP per hour. And lots of things in terms of that as well. It's a really good thing to use, which I might do a single video about just to show you guys and walk you guys through if you have never used it before. So as always, what we're going to be doing is breaking everything down and going through the updates on the post as well. Because there's so many things related to the removal of dailyscape and the overhaul, we're going to be doing quite a few videos throughout the week. And I imagine I'm going to do a couple of days of double uploads because there's so much stuff to delve into today. Not only that, we also have the blogs which are going to be coming this week. So we've got two pretty big ones. We have the world declutter, where we're looking at breaking down some of the things in the world just to make it flow a little bit better. Like I did with Lumbridge earlier in the year, where they sort of pulled it back to how it originally looked and kind of improved the area for it as well. The big one which we're waiting for though is the player-owned housing and 120 construction design, where it's going to give us the first look, and that is going to be a blog released on Friday the 20th of March, which I will definitely be doing on that for you guys as well. So two pretty big blogs, and it seems like every single week at the minute we're having two really big blogs about things which are coming in the future. Communication has been on point. I know we've had all the things with the membership and all those kind of issues, but one thing which has really shone out this year has been the communication and the pitching of ideas and taking the feedback on board in terms of the updates as well. That has been very, very good. So 120 construction is going to be very big. The post which we did on Haven Hive yesterday was very, very good. I thought the update looks great. It looks like it's going to really target that mid-low level game. If you want to go check that one out, please go and do it as well. So we have the daily overhaul, which we're going to go and have a look at that. That's something we're going to go and do as a separate bit afterwards. The combat style modernization update, we are still doing things now and still making changes, which is good. I see this as a benefit rather than a disadvantage if things weren't ready and things weren't in place. The fact is, they would have released this update 2 years ago and nothing would have been touched with it for 6 months. So the fact that they're paying so much attention to it still, even though it's been 2 weeks in the game, and they're amending and changing things as well, is a very big bonus. So for this one, it looks like they've had a look at Death Swiftness, Surge, Escape, and some other stuff as well. And as well as loads of other things. Again, I'll leave this for you guys to go and check out. The post is always here. I just don't want these videos, because we're getting so much detail and so much stuff on a Monday, to be sort of weighed down with all this stuff. But the combat stuff, they are still amending and changing as well, which is really, really nice. Rune metrics, as we mentioned before, is now free, which is a really, really good thing. It's such a useful tool once you've got your head around it. Being able to track your XP rates, whether it's for a period of time or it's a login, also counting how much GP you've earned in a period of time as well. I can do a video on that if you guys want me to. Just let me know in the comments of what you guys want to do. The patch notes for this week, we've got combat modernization, loads of different stuff, mainly with abilities, which is really, really nice. The fact they still focus on it is a very, very good thing. And then we have the standard community stuff as well. They have all the other stuff. So really, this page here is just to cover all the patch notes, all the little finicky bits, and all the bits they've done in terms of the combat modernization, which again, very nice that they're still looking to do that as well. But the big one here is the dailyscape overhaul. So, in terms of what has been released for this in terms of content, there's stuff we're going to be covering over the week, because there's some things which I think are going to be really good, and I want to see how it creates different things in the game as well. So, the reason why they've gone and looked at this revitalization of dailyscape was because the dailyscape turned gameplay into a chore list, which they're very right on this thing. Like, you would log in and think, I need to do my Reaper, I need to do my player and farms, I need to do all these things, which kind of made it like, at least for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, you spend the first bit of your gameplay just going chasing all these dailyscape stuff, which aren't really worthwhile. It creates a time pressure where you think like you're going to be missing out if you don't do it. The daily rewards are extremely powerful and can accelerate progression too quickly. So one big thing they've taken out is daily challenges. Daily challenges was a massive thing for growing an account. And now that's not there, it kind of encourages people to sort of like skill and go and do what they should be in terms of that as well. So daily challenges are changed but not removed. So daily challenges were very high on top of the list in terms of things you wanted to do. because of the XP related to it was so good. So what they've now done is remove the weekly reward track from these challenges and also the ability to extend or re-roll. So by the sound of it, they are still here, and it just means that you can only do that one as well. So we're going to monitor this. I'm not going to quite take daily challenges out, but the fact that people could re-roll them and extend them to where they could be quite a big reward has been removed, which again is very nice. It means they're not doing it completely all in one go. They're going to remove that ability first, see how daily challenges affect the game and the player sort of feel, and then look at visiting that in the future, which is actually really nice. Now, Guthix caches, especially if you've started an account or if you've played a brand new account, you will realize how OP these are for your low level divination grinds, and the fact you had to be here on the hour just meant that you were always watching the clock to make sure you were there. Now, these are now available from level 35 divination, which I do like because this kind of removed all of the early level divination gameplay, which now means that you need to do some divination training before you do this. And what this is going to do is, rather than having a hourly timer, once you've deposited 800 memories into the rift, it opens and allows you to enter the cache. Only that will basically stay open until you decide to exit and you reach 100 points. So there's no rush to actually go inside. The rift will stay open until you're ready to do it. And also it seems like there's not a timer for when you go down as well. So you can take as long as you want to go and do your daily cache. As long as you put in 800 memories, which is quite a decent chunk of memories to put in. So I'm going to go and try this on Grab the Hog this week. Grab the Hog wants to go and train his divination to get towards the point where we're able to go and do invention. And I think this would be a really good way to see how this affected it. This was really one of those time crunch tasks where you needed to sort of like make sure you're available. It changed how you played the game. Rather than just go and do a Slayer task, you've always got your eye on that hour where you wanted to do that. But I'm really excited to see this because cache, if you do it properly, is a very good way to level up your divination. It's a good way to get the divination outfit as well. And it's just something I think now it's done it this way. It's encouraging people to train divination and then also just doing it in terms of you not having to wait for it as well. Now, Soul Reaper task is a very good thing, and I like the idea behind it where you're going to boss for your Slayer. So basically what's going to happen now is that Soul Reaper has no cap on a daily task. You can get as many caps as you want. In terms of a point, you are capped to so many points per week. So you could go and do no Soul Reaper task for 6 days, do all of them in one day, and you can still cap out your weekly points, which I think is a lot better. 300 points per week is still quite substantial in terms of the points, and it's very nice as well. Soul Reaper task now also rewards Slayer points alongside Reaper points as well, which is very nice. The Slayer points are not capped, but the Reaper points are, which is very good. You can also reset a Reaper task as well using Slayer points, which is nice because it gives another benefit of actually getting Slayer points anyway. And I think this is a great way to rework it because you're still getting the Reaper points for the Reaper point reward. You can go and do bossing for your tasks as well, and you can use Slayer points, and you've given them another sort of use to use with the Reaper task as well. So really big fan of that. Now with Reaper assignments now, you require level 45 Slayer and overall combat level 50, which is nice because again, another way people could cheat that early game Slayer was to go and do a couple of Soul Reaper tasks, especially if you go and do something like Croesus where you can go to a mass or people can help you. And you can just jump through so much of a low level Slayer grind, which is more of the important thing I think. It gives sort of players a bit of a chance to try out combat on these early level Slayer monsters, and get some charms, and you really end up missing out on a lot. But the fact we still have Soul Reaper, you still have points, you can use your Slayer points as well. Big fan of that, I'm really happy with that one. The Traveling Merchant. So the Traveling Merchant was a favourite. This has been fully disabled while they decide to rebalance various pieces of content. And the Traveling Merchant, if we are all honest with it, was a bit of a cheat code for a lot of trim requirements and a lot of annoying things as well. The reason why the Traveling Merchant was something you wouldn't want to avoid or miss out on is because the rewards were just so good. So that has been removed now, but we're going to look at sort of implementing something a little bit along the lines just because of how good it was. But I think the only reason it was so good is because of the kind of rewards it gave. If they're not going in that kind of direction, with a Rose to Restoration, I don't think the Traveling Merchant would be quite as good. Stealing Creation, outfit redistribution. So you pointed out some challenges with the Stealing Creation minigame, including that difficult to engage with due to its age and requirements of a minimum of 10 players to start. So they have now put the Artisans and Fletcher outfits, which is what you got from Stealing Creation, into the Fowler shop, which is really nice. So if you see Fowler, or if you see something in Spotlight which you enjoy, again, Cask Wars is a really good way to go and farm Fowler. You can go and get the pieces of those outfits for 360 Fowler pieces each. Runespan balancing. Runespan points output has been doubled alongside a removal of the Traveling Merchant mentioned above. So a lot of people would have got Runespan points from the Traveling Merchant to go and a lot of rewards. But it seems that they've amended those to Runespan and balancing that out as well, which is really nice. Livid Farm, a big thing which was there because of the Traveling Merchant. So a lot of people would have got Livid Farm points through the Traveling Merchant because if you haven't done Livid Farm, it is brutal. It is quite a repetitive grind and it requires an awful lot of points, which as you can see here, they have dropped the requirements of the points quite substantially. It seems like they've almost dropped it by a third. Yes, so 30% of their previous cost, which makes it a lot less of a grind. It's still going to be a bit of a grind, but it's a lot more bearable when those are the only points you're going to get. Like, you were going to unlock the 4th spell for 150,000 points. It seems now that the final one is 130,000. Big fan of that. The livid farm spells are very, very useful. You have Repair Rune Pouch, which is nice, remote farming, Make Leather, which is a good way to go and make some GP. You have Disruption Shield, Vengeance Group, and a lot of things which are very beneficial to PvM then. Uncharted Island Map Balancing. So this is going to be regarding, again, for traveling merchants. You have the ability to go and get some maps. They're going to balance this out to where you can receive these from the Deep Sea Fishing Hub from actually doing the activity, which is how it should have always been. But the rate of that is going to be significantly increased. The Wicked HUD, it no longer receives any rune essence. There is no free daily runes. Any remaining Wicked HUD teleport charges can still be used, but you are unable to gain new daily Wicked HUD charges to the altars anymore. A little bit sad because I do think the Wicked HUD was a fantastic thing to have. Not just for like rune crafting, but for people who did clue scrolls and stuff, it was a very, very useful item. If you still have Wicked HUD teleports, you can still put them in your Wicked HUD. They are very beneficial and I would highly recommend you guys using those before they're removed next year. But yeah, it's a little bit sad. You can still report the talismans in the HUD and use that as a talisman as well. And you can also still teleport to the rune crafting guild using the HUD. So it still has some uses. It's just sad because it was a really, really good thing. Now, Viswax, Rune Goldberg Machine, and Quick Teleporting changes. This is a pretty massive one as well because Viswax was a great way to go and make daily GP and make a lot of daily GP as well. It was also really good for getting rid of the runes, and I think it really stabilized the rune prices for a very long time. So I'm really interested to see what Jagex is going to do with that anyway. So they've removed the machine and you will no longer be able to receive any Viswax. Any Viswax currently in your inventory or bank will not be removed and can be used to add quick teleport charges. I would recommend if you've got any Viswax, you may as well use them for quick teleports because that's basically what they're worthwhile using. They're looking at seeing if they can rework anything in terms of using the wax. But anything which required it before has been moved out. But this is a little bit of a sad one because I do think it really helps with the prices of the runes as well. Now, daily shops where you can get free items from NPCs have been removed. And this was for people who did collection runs or mega shop runs where you can like get some GP from it. They've kind of moved it from being a daily reset, so it now accumulates over 7 days. So if you're going to do it and you want to do it, you can literally do it over a week. Just do 1 day a week, buy other stock, and then you can move on from there. Again, this is a nice quality of life update where you're not having to go and visit the same shop every single day. You can just simply go once a week. Big upgrade from me, if I do say so. The liberation of Mazcap, again, you were kind of sort of put into daily scape by this because you were locked to how many you could do per day. The cap on daily loot has now been removed and the drop rates of rare items have been adjusted. You are still required to complete the canals puzzles before Yakamaro, which is, again, part of the mechanics and stuff as well. But the fact that's been removed, more people can go and do that. That's fine. The Phoenix Lair, again, they've adjusted this. That's not too big of a one as well. Serenity updates. The Crystal Tree Blossom is something they've looked at. Now this is turned into a bit of a monthly where it's going to have 30 charges and increase 1 point per day. Red and Crystal Sandstone is a big one as well. So this has been capped before, so you can only get so much Red and Crystal Sandstone per day. This has been removed, but it's going to be a lot slower in terms of how much resources you can get. So this is something I'm going to trial as well. Again, all these videos, I'm going to do different things on different bits. But that's going to be interesting to see what the price of the flasks are going to be like and what kind of speed you're going to get them as well. So Fish Flingers, where you were required to go and get the tickets, is something you don't need anymore. You can consistently just go and do it now. So that's really nice because Fish Flingers is a bit brutal in terms of a trim requirement. So that's not too bad. Shooting Stars is a D&D, which again, you were limited to how much you can do per day. You can now claim reward from the spirits after every star. And they've also changed the star now to every 90 minutes it's going to drop. Bork is a really nice one. So every single day you could go and loot Bork for some charms and also some Slayer XP. This was capped at only 1 per day, so this has changed. So now you can go and farm Bork for drops. And with the kind of sort of charm drops it does, I'm really interested to see what it's going to do. Now, the first kill you do on Bork is going to give you 30,000 Slayer XP. Any kills afterwards will no longer provide Slayer XP. You can kill Bork repeatedly for drops. It's more about the rewards than the daily XP grind as well. So the drop tables has removed the enhancement provided by Tier 2 Luck. And yeah, so Bork's going to be something I'm going to try on Grab the Hog because I think it's going to be worthwhile for the charms anyway. Now, because we're getting on a little bit, there's some things here which are a little bit mid. So the aquarium decorations, again, not too bothered about that. The slime pit teleport. Mauritania Legs 4 now gives you unlimited teleports there. The evil tree mini tree, very similar to the star. You can now do it as much as you want, which is very nice. The little mini tree you can summon from the nature centaur outfit, you can no longer do, which is a little bit sad because that was actually really good XP, but is what it is. Now, stuff which isn't changing, sinkholes in the Garajo card. The wilderness event is being removed, which again, I think wilderness flash events were a bit too OP. Warbands as well is also going. The Motherlode Maw and the Motherlode Shard. Divine locations, very sadly, are going by the look of it. Any ones you still have in your bank, you can still use, but you can no longer create anymore. I do think this is sad because it's a really good way to sort of involve divination into training something, but, you know, again, we can move on from there. And then finally, the modified headwear, anything which gives you free items, you can no longer get for free items. You can still get the benefits from the headwear, so something like the botanist mask, you can still get extra potions, but anything other than that, pretty much, yeah, you can no longer get it. But what a massive post. There's so many things here which are going to change how we play the game. And rather than just do it all in one big post, because that's a big post we've gone through, I'll put the link into the post into the description. Please go and have a read because they've done a lot of changes to the daily scape overhaul, which we'll cover in multiple videos during the week as well. But rather than drag the video out, I'm going to end it here. Let me know what you think. Are you a big sort of fan of this? I am. I think they've made a lot of stuff a lot easier to play. Again, there's stuff which they removed, but they've amended it to make it more of every week. I quite like what they've done with the shops, where the items you can get free for daily, they're going to make it like a 7-day reset rather than like every single day. I do like what they've done to cash. I think cash is really good. And yeah, I think it's been a few real improvements here, but I'm really interested to see what you guys think as well. But I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.